Welcome back, everybody. This is Mike with Jealous Lawn Care, and today we're going to talk about the spring cleanup for your lawn, or your spring recovery, or how to get your lawn ready for the spring after the rough winter season. All right, so stay tuned. So here's my to-do list today. First thing I'm going to do is, if you haven't already done it, make sure you rake the grass, just to help that grass stand upright after the winter season. Maybe you got a little bit of snow mold issue, you got a little trampled grass, you might have a whole bunch of different issues, but it's always good to rake the grass early spring, right before you do your first mowing session or first product session, meaning like Milorganite or fertilizer, weed and feed, whatever you're going to put down. It's always good to give the grass a good raking first. And a pretty light raking. You're not like doing any dethatching here. So first thing we're going to do is rake the lawn. Mainly just getting all the leaves up, because first thing in the springtime I like to rake and get everything up off the ground as possible. And the reason I like to do this is because of the fact that there's going to be leaves, and of course I'm always a big fan of mulching your grass clippings and your leaves, but this is one time of the year, this one cut where I just like a clean base. This way I know that the weed and feed product, I don't like to see weeds, so I like to make sure I get the weed and feed product and the fertilizer, whatever you're putting down, all the way down deep into the soil. So first step would be raking, then you want to mow your lawn. So I always like to cut a little bit lower on that first cut of the year, probably around 2.5 inches, maybe even a hair lower, just to make sure you're getting a little bit of cutting action off the grass. And again, it's not really for the height of the grass, it's mainly to get everything that's deep down in there, like leaves, debris, dead grass, and also you want to get a little bit of grass cut, because just like your hair, when you cut your hair or cut your grass, either way, you're basically promoting growth. You're saying, hey, time to wake up, I want you to grow again. So just like you want your hair to grow, you cut it more often and it grows. So you make that just cut, then you put down your weed and feed product. It'll help it to grow that much quicker in the beginning. All right. So hopefully a little bit before your neighbor's grows, of course. Then you get more greenness. You'll get that initial green boost that maybe they won't have because of the fact that their grass isn't growing yet. That's the goal, right? Making our neighbors jealous. And then one step for me, which I also include on this day, would be to trim my bushes, or in my case, the grass. So when I say my grass, I mean this type of grass. So I have this grass up in front in two different places, here and here. So just gonna see how I go through that. I love this grass. To be honest, I love that grass, even though it's not as green as my normal grass, but it's okay. It's a very pretty type of grass, and it's very low maintenance. I don't water it. You don't have to water. You don't have to do anything. And even in the winter, it still has a nice little blowing atmosphere to it, because it grows pretty tall. I would say a good 3 or 4 feet, and it's well established. All you do is you chop it low at the base, and it grows itself year after year. So very nice to do, very nice to have. In my opinion, I would do it across the whole front, because as you can see, these bushes that I just started to do last year, we just put these hydrangeas in here, and here, and here, 3 different colors of hydrangeas, with the goal that they would be year-round color. But of course, that wasn't the case. So, of course, it's not going to be year-round, but season-round. But it's not, I guess we like things done a little bit too instantaneous, we'll say. It's going to take a long time for these to grow. So, in my opinion, I would just do this nice tall grass, even when it's dormant. See, it doesn't look too bad. It's got a little shape and character to it. And once I chop it low, it's going to look even better, because then it's going to grow up green again on its own. Don't have to pull anything out. All you have to do is chop it and take away the tops. Okay, so I've already done my raking and mowing of the lawn. Now I'm going to put down the weed and feed product. And I'm not going to put it all over my lawn. I'm going to leave a little section empty in the backyard, because there's a spot where I'm going to be doing a test. So stay tuned for future videos about what test I'm going to check on next, all right? Because now we have the leaf mulch video at the end of its completion, on for the next test. So this is kind of a little teaser video for what's to come. There is another test coming. I know everybody liked that leaf mulch test that I did, so stay tuned. So this bag is 5,000 square feet. It covers both my front and my backyard. Both of mine are the same square footage, 2,500. So this will be, I'll basically use this entire bag. And just check your spreader settings. So yesterday it just rained, so this is absolutely a perfect day to do this because this way I don't have to water the lawn. So they want this weed and feed product to be put down on the ground once it's wet, and they don't want any rain for 24 hours. And even though it's springtime, I know that's very hard to accomplish because spring it rains randomly here and there, you know, so do what you can. It's not the end of the world if it rains afterwards or whatever, but. So my spreader setting is going to be at 3.5. All right. So let's get this going. And I want to pour about half the bag or so. This way, in case you're walking too fast or too slow, you can tell the depth of how much is left. As you can see, I just did my first trim pass all the way around. That's ideally what you want, no matter what kind of product you're putting down. Whenever you use a spreader, make sure you put the edge guard on, which comes with a lot of the spreaders nowadays. So make sure you put that edge guard on so you don't waste too much product in other people's yards or in your flower beds or wherever else. All right, then after you do that, take the edge guard off and finish the job. Next step is I'm going to cut or trim this grass. Watch how easy this is. Could not be any easier, right? And there you are, all done. Doesn't look too great, but it grows up pretty quick. So you can see how quick and easy that was. Very simple job, especially if you don't like a lot of maintenance. I'd recommend getting these for yourself. And you don't have to worry about taking this old dormant grass out of here because of the fact that when new grass comes, it'll be overwhelming to this, and then we'll say take its place. I mean, they're always going to stay there, but you won't even notice that they're there once that new grass comes up. All right? That's another reason why you don't have to worry about leveling it off and getting it absolutely perfect. So very, again, maintenance free. Love it.
One last thing I forgot to mention is no matter what type of product you're putting down, in this case weed and feed or fertilizer or whatever you're doing, see all this left over on the blacktop. You want to make sure you get that all up. Same thing with the sidewalk, just in case whatever you're using, a lot of products stain. So make sure you either sweep it up or I like to blow it up. All right, just use a blower. Like that guy. And one more thing you're gonna want to do also in the springtime is do a nice new mulch. So this is the after effect. So I have not remulched this yet. I usually mulch every year. I mulched last year when I planted these new shrubs, we'll say 1, 2, 3, and that's a lilac, so that will be coming up soon. So one of the overall best and cheapest methods for improving curb appeal, especially in the springtime, is by adding nice fresh colored mulch. It is springtime now, just about to start the spring season for my lawn care program, when I noticed a noise. Sounds like a lawnmower. And of course, you gotta investigate the situation, see what your competition's doing. And it looks like my competition, meaning my neighbor, is getting some dethatching done. Power dethatching. You can see a lot of the remnants right along there. So that's gonna look nice. Apparently my cat likes to watch also. Looks a lot better though afterwards. Good thing I do my dethatching in the fall, every fall. But I do not dethatch my backyard, just out of pure laziness and time. Sad to say, but it's true. The main thing we care about is our front. And they got up a lot of thatch. Good time, because tomorrow it's going to be snowing, last snowfall of the season, and then it's going to heat up to the mid-50s next week, and don't anticipate any more coldness. So it's definitely a good time, you know. But like I said, I like to do mine in the fall, and I also do aeration, so probably don't need to do both. Definitely not every year, but I like to do it as good practice, and it gives me a workout. Question is, are they doing any more than just dethatching? I see 2 trucks. I'm kind of thinking yes. And I was right. They are doing more to their lawn. It's not just dethatching. They're also doing core aeration. You can see some of the leftovers there. This will definitely improve their lawn. Good time to do it. I prefer the fall though. But this definitely puts a little more pressure on me to make sure that I step up my game even more this year.
All right, so that's about it. Thanks for joining me, everybody. And if you guys ever have any questions on something you see in my lawn, or maybe something going on in your lawn that you're not sure or confused about, feel free to shoot me something in the comments. All right, until next time.